Sometimes, the biggest mistake in life is nothing more than a small moment of curiosity. I didn't know that at the time. That day, I brought home an old wooden box. It looked ordinary, just another antique, covered in dust, carved with strange patterns, the kind of thing you'd find in a forgotten corner of a shop. But what I didn't realize was I hadn't brought home an object. I had brought home a door. At first, no one paid attention to it. My wife thought it was useless junk. I placed it on an old table in the corner of the living room and forgot about it. But someone didn't. My daughter. She was only 7, quiet, innocent, always lost in her own little world. But the moment she saw that box, something changed. She kept staring at it. Not like a child looks at a toy, but like someone listening to a voice no one else could hear. At first, I ignored it. Kids get curious. But then, it started to feel wrong. She would sit near it for hours, saying nothing, just watching, as if the box was watching her back, and sometimes, I could swear, it moved just slightly, barely noticeable, like something inside was breathing. That night, everything changed. The house was silent, the kind of silence that feels too heavy, too deep. I woke up suddenly. I don't know why. Maybe it was instinct, or maybe something wanted me to wake up. That's when I noticed her bed. Empty. My heart dropped. I rushed out into the hallway and saw a faint light coming from the living room. And there she was, standing in front of the box. Still. Completely still. "Sweetheart," I whispered. No response. She slowly raised her hand and placed it on the lid. For a second, everything froze. Then, she opened it. And in that moment, the air in the house changed. It wasn't wind, it wasn't sound. It was something else. Something wrong. A cold wave passed through me. The lights flickered, and from inside the box, darkness spilled out. Not like smoke, not like shadow, but something alive, something that moved with intention. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. And before I could reach her, it happened. That thing went into her. Her body jerked violently. Her head snapped upward, and then silence. The box closed on its own. Just like that. As if nothing had happened. But everything had. The next morning, she looked normal. Too normal. She sat at the breakfast table quietly. Didn't speak, didn't smile. Just stared. I told myself I was overthinking. That it was just fear. But then, she started laughing, slowly, at first. Then louder and louder. That laugh, it wasn't hers. It didn't belong to a child. It didn't belong to anyone human. My wife froze. I felt my chest tighten. And then, suddenly, everything in the room moved. The chairs shook. Glasses slid across the table. Plates fell and shattered on the floor. It was chaos. Like an invisible storm had entered our house. And in the middle of it, she stood there. Perfectly still, watching, smiling, as if she was controlling it all. That's when I knew. That wasn't my daughter anymore. Days passed, but things only got worse. Doors slammed on their own, walls echoed with whispers at night, shadows moved where there was no light, and she stopped acting human. Sometimes she would stand in corners for hours, facing the wall. Sometimes she would speak, but not in her voice, and not in any language I understood. Then came the attack. It was sudden, violent, unnatural. She threw things, heavy things, like they weighed nothing. She screamed, a sound so sharp it felt like it was tearing through the walls. It took everything in us just to hold her down. A 7-year-old child, with strength no human should have. That night, We made a decision, one no parent should ever have to make. We locked her in a room. We had no choice. We sealed the door, covered it, prayed it would end. But it didn't, because whatever was inside her wasn't trapped. It was waiting. Every night, we heard it, scratching, slow, deliberate scratches on the door, then knocking, soft at first, then louder, and then the voice. "Papa!" It sounded like her, so real, so close. "Please open the door." My hands would tremble, my heart would break, but something deep inside me knew the truth. That wasn't her, because after a few seconds, the voice would change, twist, break, into something else, something darker, something hungry. And that's when I understood. We didn't lock it away. We didn't stop it. We didn't save anyone. We just trapped it and left it starving. And whatever is inside that room now is still there, waiting, listening, hungry.